Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Speak on It. And first of all, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Definitely.
Um, Regardless of if you're a natural mother or you just take care of kids in some way, shape, or form, you're a mother figure. Happy Mother's Day to you. Um, with that being said, good brother, let's get right into it. Um, some series are tied 2-2.
hmm
Interesting. Any of them shock you? What's the most shocking 2-2 tie?
Um, the Suns Mavs, even though I said it would go in six, um, that one.
I would agree. I would agree. Even though I said I picked the Mavs to win the series because I didn't think Devin Booker would be healthy. He
hmm
looks healthy,
Yeah,
and Dallas handled business at home. The others stepped up. They did, but nobody's winning. Nobody's won on the road yet.
yeah,
And for me, that's kind of shocking with Phoenix because you're trying to be a championship team. You're gonna have to start getting some wins on the road. Um,
yeah,
I
definitely,
guess some quality competition. So
definitely. I mean, I thought they should have got this last one to be quite honest. But I mean, Dallas pulled it off in the stretch, and I mean, like you said, I mean, if we're going win for win at home, I mean, then you win in seven. But if you, like you said, if you chasing after a championship, you gotta at the least or at the most six. So
yeah, I just feel like even though if you have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs,
hmm
it's you serve court at home, you're fine. Um, but I always feel like dominant championship teams can win games on the road, especially closeout opportunities.
yeah,
Because majority of the time nowadays, back in the day, you were able to get 6 and 7 at home in
hmm
certain series. Nowadays, game six is on the road
right,
majority of the time. So being able to win that game six on the road and close a team out on the road always to me was a message of a championship team.
definitely. I mean, you're gonna have to win on the road unless you got home court throughout. Um, but if you're trying to get that ring, there has to be at least one, two every series that you're gonna have to steal on the road. Um, Especially when you are the number one seed. You're the defending Western Conference champions, and you're slated to repeat. Um, I mean, I'm not going to say there's no reason why a four seed should be, you know what I mean, tied, but at the same time, like you're gonna have to win these next two. Otherwise, you put yourself in a very peculiar predicament when you're talking about a game seven. Granted, it's in Phoenix, but you still have Luka Doncic, who can pull a rabbit out of his hat and have 50. You know what I mean? In a game seven, who knows?
The thing with Luca is he hasn't won a game by himself yet, and he's capable of doing that.
hmm
And for me, I think the pressure right now is on Phoenix.
Of
Going back
course.
home, pivotal game five. You're the higher seed. You're the team that's supposed to be on the quest to, right what happened last year.
Dallas is playing with house money right now.
Exactly. And I don't want to say this this is his last chance, man, but Chris Paul,
time,
this
time,
might be like, time is he doesn't have another 4 or 5 years
right.
at being, and I'm not taking anyone's ring away from them when they are, past their prime, like a Gary Payton.
hmm
You know what I mean? What he did in Miami. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Getting your ring is getting your ring. You put in the work, you put in the time to earn that. But I know it would have been something special and different for him if he was himself, him when he was the glove and was able
Right.
to win that championship ring. Where Chris Paul right now, he's still CP3. He's still CP3. He doesn't always play at that level,
Hmm.
but he's still CP3. And I think that time is dwindling, and especially with the juggernaut that seems to be building in Golden State.
And I would agree. I mean, he's still playing at a high productive level. Um, However, it's not like you. He's using wisdom more than athleticism, right? And really, I mean, those years add up. And I mean, once we talking past 35, 36, that's where we get into the retirement years when we're talking about basketball.
Hmm.
Um, and having the he's had longevity. He's had success. He just is missing that one thing. He's got all
Yeah,
the accolades, and I mean,
neither
he's
Jordan.
definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Just a matter of is he going to get that ring? And it's really like I thought last year was now or never. Like you add another year onto that, it's like okay, like it's the same performance. Here we are. You know what I mean? Same predicament, number one seed.
Now, granted, the rest of the guys around them will get better. Don't get it twisted. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Bridges and Booker and Aiton, those guys will get better, but he still won't be the guy that we're used to seeing, and we're starting to see that now.
Yeah,
We're starting to see that now. He's not the guy that we were once used to seeing. You know,
but it's not a rapid decline.
no,
That's
it's
the
not a
difference.
rapid decline because he still hadn't had games like he had in game two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I mean, he's still capable of those nights, but consistently he's not gonna get that.
Right.
You're not gonna get those types. You're not gonna get those types of nights. But you're also not gonna get consistently the night that he had last night. Um, uh, that series though, you changing your mind?
Nope.
Nope.
I'm
Still
staying on my
finishing.
word. I was,
Still finishing
yeah,
six. I'm.
yeah.
I'm. I went with Dallas in six because I didn't think Devin Booker was right. He looks right. I'm gonna stick with my pick though. I'm gonna still say Dallas in six. Um, I fully expect the Phoenix to win it though, but I'm gonna stick with Dallas in six. You feel me?
Understood.
I'm
Understood.
gonna I'm gonna
Stick
stick
to
with
your
Dallas
word.
in six. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my word and stick with Dallas in six. Um, Milwaukee. Now, we can get into the series, but uh, our man, probably watching now, Chris Miller. He
Hmm.
he he made the comment that Giannis was easily the best player in the league.
I
We
wouldn't
had
say
that discussion.
easily,
We
but
had that
I,
discussion last week that
I wouldn't.
he's in the group of probably 4, 5 guys that could make a really good case
He
that
can
they're
make
the
a really
best
good
player.
case.
He's gonna make a great case for himself as well. But
Got a great lawyer.
there's a few other guys that can make that
You know,
case as
yeah,
well.
that's a fact.
But he put on an MVP type performance uh, yesterday
They sure
for
did.
them to make sure that they got that game at home to take a 2-1 lead in that series. But I can tell you one thing. I didn't see the Jason Tatum slander yesterday and today, like I seen with the KD slander, because my man stunk it up really, really bad.
He did.
He was really, really bad. And it was just and it
It's a bad
wasn't
night.
I couldn't even really say that it was all Milwaukee's defense.
No,
He
it
just
was
was missing
shots that was
shots.
falling. Yeah, shots
He
wasn't
was just
falling.
missing shots. Like He was some of them was good looks, and they just weren't
Weren't
going
going to
down.
work exactly,
They just weren't going down.
and there's nothing you could do about those nights.
There's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely, there's nothing you can do about it. Um, are they in trouble?
No, um, I mean it's only 2-1, right?
Mhm.
So I mean they for them to what was the score of that game? For them to be
They lost by two. I think it was
yeah, yeah,
113,
yeah.
111.
So for them to play in that type of manner and Tatum had the night that he had, I think they're okay. Um, because they played well enough to win, or not even win, but be in the position to where there's a tip. You know what I mean? And it comes down to that. So, and we all know that Tatum's not going to have back to back nights like that. So if they can keep the same performance that they had and Tatum improves, I think they can still game four in Milwaukee and it be tied 2-2.
I don't want to say they're in trouble, but they're on the verge of it.
Why do you say that?
Just as we can say, Jason Tatum struggled,
Hmm.
a lot of the Bucks struggled. They shot terribly from the three as a team. So for me, it's like a defense is geared towards making Jason Tatum take tough shots.
Hmm.
They're gonna give Pat Connaughton shots. He's gonna have to make shots
Right.
because we're gonna make sure to close this lane off from Giannis. So Pat Connaughton, he's probably gonna start making those shots at home. Bobby Portis, he's probably gonna start making those shots at home. So for me, I feel like Milwaukee, the game that Boston had to win was
Hmm.
game three.
Okay.
Now being in this position, it's a lot of pressure on you to not go down 3-1.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's
It's a lot
definitely
of pressure on them to not go down 3-1. Defensively, they're so good.
hmm
That's why they stay in games. They can stay in games because I don't think you're gonna blow out Boston. I think they play too good a defense. If you blow them out, it's still probably gonna be a low scoring. Because every time Milwaukee would pull away, Boston would get stops that would create their offense.
hmm
I don't know. I think Boston is too reliant on just two guys scoring buckets. I think that's what hurts them.
I mean, of course, and their defense keeps them, like you said, their defense keeps them in the game, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think that they're at a point of. I'm not gonna say urgency. Of course, every game is urgent, but down 2-1, and like I said, for the things the way that it went, like no, you can't count on the Bucks having a bad shooting night in Game Four. That's one thing you can't count on. However, just the mentality going into the game that our star player had a bad night and we still could have pulled it off. Just that riding along with the defense. I mean, take each quarter, each possession at a time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I really think that they are the team that can have that mentality and take that next step. And really, I think this is a stepping stone for Jason Tatum in Game Four and this series to solidify himself as one of the better players, if not the upper echelon when it comes to the players. Because I mean, you're playing against a former MVP in Giannis, and they're the NBA champions, and you have a shot right now to be in a position to knock them off, and you gave one away in Milwaukee. Now here's the time to show yourself on the road. What better position are you? You know what I mean? You can be put in to show yourself and solidify yourself. So I think this is a call to Jason Tatum to carry this team. And Game Four will show what he if he's able to do so.
Do you think? Do you think if Chris Middleton comes back, that pushes this series completely in Milwaukee's favor.
Um, I wouldn't say completely. It does give them an edge. Um, because they've played in the regular season. I'm not sure. Maybe I can pull this up real well. That may be a little bit too much. I don't know. But when somebody's coming off injury, you got to work them into the lineup. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it gives them a slight edge. I don't say it pushes them to the point to where it's like the end all be all. Because I still think that means that takes away shots from others, which Pat Connaughton and I'm not maybe Drew. No, he's gonna get his shots.
Well,
Um,
Drew's I think Drew is averaging over like 20 attempts per game in this series.
yeah,
So it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't
he's
be a
the two
bad
right
thing.
now.
It wouldn't be a bad thing to take shots away from him because now he can focus more so defensively
Yeah,
in guarding Jason Tatum and
that's true.
Jalen Brown. So to me, the return of Chris Middleton puts Milwaukee over the top in this series because now we got another guy that can create his own shot.
But he's got to be completely
Besides,
healthy though.
he doesn't even have to be completely healthy.
Okay.
All he's got to do is be effective because
That's
he's never been a great defender anyway. But he can make shots. So as
hmm
long as he can make shots, he's gonna play a role and be effective on the floor, especially when as Dom described them, the Hawk. Especially when he gets to going downhill,
It's nothing.
he's at another level.
Oh boy.
He's at another level. So I think the return of Chris Middleton puts this series kind of out of reach, in my opinion.
I'm going with you, Jason Tatum. Come on.
The
I
other
need that.
series in the East, Philly currently is up 64-56 at halftime over Miami. Just as
What you
I,
predicted.
I
That's what it's
predicted,
trending.
is looking like the return of Joel Embiid completely flipped this series on its
Yeah.
head. Um, it's That's what dominant players are supposed to do.
And he only had 17 and 11 last game.
Yeah,
And that's the impact.
that's the impact of him. He opened up the floor for the other guys.
Yep.
Then Green shot the lights out. Then
That don't
defensively,
happen too often now.
def- def- he shoots the lights out at home.
It's
Wherever he goes, whether it was San Antonio, Toronto, he shoots the ball very well at home. He plays defense when he wants to.
it's like he has very good nights and then very bad nights. It's like it's
Yeah,
almost no in
but
betweens.
majority of the time the bad nights come on the road. I don't know. He's one of those guys that just
And when he puts it
uh,
up 20 times,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
the time he puts up 12, he's 9 for 12, 8 for 3. It's like, bro, I don't know. But
yeah.
go ahead, my fault.
Now you good, but that team just is gonna go as Joel Embiid goes. What it is doing though, however, it's just allowing James Harden to get off the hook because they're winning. Despite his, he's still been himself. He's not shot the ball well. He's played well. You're gonna look at his numbers and say, man, he's 17, 8, and 7, you know, but he was also 6 for 17. He shoots terribly because he's just not the same guy anymore. And I think people still expected him to be the same guy. He's not the same
Mm.
guy anymore. He's not the same guy anymore. He can't blow past people. He can't get around people. And
He
he's
can draw
doesn't
fouls.
he can, yeah, he can draw fouls. He's always been a very crafty in being able to draw contact and get to the line. But when you don't have that burst anymore, that explosion anymore. You can't finish
Mhm.
around the rim the way you used to. You're also not going to be able to get the same uh, jump in your jump shot. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I haven't seen too many ISOs at the top of the key and him draining like he did in Houston. I haven't seen
No,
it like with all the gang signs and all of that. I haven't seen none of
that's
that. I
not
just wonder where that
because
came
that I don't because I think he understands that that's not who he is anymore. He can give you every now and again he'll hit a step back and splash it in somebody's face, but for the most part, he's being a creator. You know what I mean? He's trying to create for other guys, which is fine.
from. Yeah, he's a great facilitator. Don't get me
You know what
wrong.
I mean? So I think he's fit. I think he's gonna fit. I think he fits great with the group of guys that they have around Joel Embiid. I think he fits in perfectly with them, with Tobias, with Tyrese,
I like
with
Maxi, man.
yeah.
I
I think
really
James
do.
fits. I think James fits in perfectly. I think he's the perfect point guard for that team
To be able
because
to
that's
distribute the
basically
ball to
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. He
Yeah,
doesn't. The one thing about James Harden that I always said was he doesn't show up when you need him. But now he doesn't need to show up.
he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to do it.
You just got to show up in moment.
Yeah. As long as Joel was out, people were going to look for him to have to do it. The pressure was on him. And you seen it in game one and game two. They were on him. He did the same thing in game three. Nobody say nothing.
So what is it? So so you saying this? Well, yeah, y'all already have said that he's left the building. He's just there to get a check right now.
Who's that?
James Harden, because
Oh.
like he used to be an elite player. Wouldn't you say or no?
Yeah, he was an elite player. This was just 2 years ago.
So what happened?
What happens is the proof is in the pudding. Like you don't. He's never been. You can look at him and tell he's not a gym guy. He's not. He's not a gym. He's not a gym guy.
hmm
You know what I mean? He likes to party. You know what I mean? Have a good time, and as he should. He's worked hard to get to where he is in life. You know what I mean? But at the same time, because he doesn't take care of his body, he can't stay healthy. And he gets those weird nagging injuries like hamstrings and
hmm
calf muscles. Like those are the types of things, and especially with his game, you know what I mean? He can't like I said, he can't
His
move.
hamstring stiff.
You know what I mean? He can't do the same thing that he used to do because of the injuries. Because it's always been with him muscles. Because again, he looks like a guy that don't stretch.
He might not.
I coach a lot of them. I coach a lot of them, and then they always have the same nagging injuries because you don't stretch. You
Yeah,
just think
sure.
you can just show up and just roll the balls out and just go, jump
Nah.
out the gym, stop on a dime, and then nothing's gonna happen to you. And then you wondering why you need ice all the time because you don't stretch.
Well, I'm looking for the Sixers to win. Um, and you're right when it comes to him being a perfect fit on that team. He doesn't have to do too much. He doesn't have to be the guy. Um, he can play a role, and it's not like a superstar type role to where you have Maxi and you got Harris that are bona fide 18 to 20 point scorers on your team. It's like, okay, if I can just put 15 with 15 assists, we could win.
Yeah, all James has to be is a point guard right now. That's it. He does not. It does not have to be a volume shooter, a huge score for this team to be successful. And I think that's a perfect fit for him. Now,
So what about Miami on the other hand? What is it that has it to where Joel Embiid changes the entire dynamic of the
they don't
series?
have a they don't have a true big.
But they're the number one team in the East, right?
yeah, you can be the number one team in the East. You can have that again. We've seen number one seeds not be dominant number one seeds. There's a difference between being a dominant number one seed and just being a number one seed. Miami's just a number one seed. That's it. They just won more games than everybody else. I don't think anybody was saying that they. Most people were still saying Milwaukee as a three seed was the favorite to come out of the East,
I can see that.
or
I
Philly
think
as the
Brooklyn.
four seed.
I think Brooklyn.
People were saying Brooklyn as a seven seed.
I,
So
this is,
nobody was buying into Miami. One of the things is because what Dom says, they don't have that true dominant superstar on their team. And another thing is matchups.
yeah,
They do not have an answer for Joel. None.
not too many teams do.
No. But at least other teams got bodies to throw at him.
Yeah, yeah. Where is
You know what I
Hassan
mean?
Whiteside?
I don't know. Last time I seen him, he was in Sacramento,
Oh, okay.
right? Was that last place I seen him?
I mean,
Was
small
it, or
ball.
was it Portland? I don't know.
Small ball. Guess that's what Pat Riley is and Spoelstra got going on there.
I mean, because Bam's
Bam can handle
ability,
his own.
Bam's ability to guard 1 through 5 and be effective scoring the basketball offensively. Like, there's not a lot of guys that can do that.
Right.
Like, Draymond can guard 1 through 5, but Draymond ain't no threat offensively. Like, he can
Right.
facilitate, he gonna make some shots when he need to make some shots, but you don't have to. You're not game planning
Stop Draymond.
to stop Draymond. You might get game plan to make sure Draymond doesn't get the ball at the top of the key and be able to just look around and make plays. Make
Hmm.
sure get up on him, make him put the ball on the floor. That's how I would defend him. But I see people all the time, they just lay off of him and say, I dare you to shoot, when Draymond's better at seeing the floor and making
Right.
decisions,
Right.
especially with all of those guys cutting around him. I'd press him, put the ball on the floor, go score the basketball. But that's just me. Um, you can do whatever you want to do as a number one seed. Bam, his ability as defending all five, being effective offensively, gives Miami the ability to cover up dudes like Tyler Hero, who's not going to be a lockdown defender. Duncan Robinson is not going to be a lockdown defender. So people are going to do what? Probably try to get them in pick and roll situations. People are going to try to get them in those types of defensive switches. So Bam can switch it to anybody.
Right.
So if you can play it against a big that it's not that good, and you get in a pick and roll situation, Bam can go and guard Trae Young.
Yeah.
But when you go up against Joel Embiid, Bam ain't as effective defensively because he get ready to be down there eating all these bows, and he still got to come out on the perimeter and guard Joel at the same time. And now he's not the perimeter protector that you need him to be.
That's true.
So Miami,
There's
they
that.
still need a superstar, like Dom said. You know, they can only Jimmy Butler's only going to be able to carry him so far because he went for 35 again in Game 3
Hmm.
because he can do that. He gonna go get buckets, but the rest of the guys didn't
Show
have those nights. So you know, hopefully they can do it tonight. What is it? Let me see, 69, 64. I mean, 69, 59. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. Let's
yeah.
go. Let's go, Philly.
Uh, it
Let's
looks like
go.
Philly's getting ready to open it up.
I would like to
Um,
see a Joel Giannis conference finals. That'd be nice.
I, I think that's what we're leading to. Uh, and in the other Western Conference playoff matchup,
Poor Ja.
I'm not gonna say poor Ja.
I'm gonna
I'm
say
not gonna
poor
say.
Ja.
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
gonna say.
say poor Ja.
I'm not gonna say poor Ja.
Man, listen.
The reason why I'm gonna say poor us because we're not gonna get the show in Game 4. And personally, if they go down 3-1, I'm not sending him back out there for a Game 5. But that's just me. Um,
So, do you know the details?
of what the injury?
I'm trying to find out. Yeah.
I don't. I didn't hear the details of the injury. I didn't read the details of the injury. I just seen that they said he was more than likely not available for Game 4. I just knew it was something with the knee. That was it.
Okay.
But he's having to do too much, and it's going to be too much wear and tear on his body right now.
Do you think? Did you see the play?
Yeah, I seen him
What
play.
you- So I heard John Morant said that a man Poole broke the code. You agree or disagree?
I think I disagree.
I would
I think
agree.
you think he broke the code,
I mean, if it's malicious, yeah, bro. Like we're not here to.
but see, I can't say if it's malicious. We guys got to go by the video. I don't know what Jordan Poole was thinking at the time. Just looking at the video, just looking at the video, I didn't think I didn't think that the pull was that severe. I didn't think it was that bad of a pull
But what
to
you pulling
where.
for?
What you mean when you pull? He was. That's the same dude he made fall earlier. He was shaking him again like he was reaching for no reason. Like what you mean?
What
This
you
is the
pulling
same
for,
dude. He just
man?
made him fall. He just made him fall. He was shook again, and he was reaching down there. And when he reached down there, instead of grabbing the ball, he grabbed the man's knee. He was shook again. I don't know why people just can't take it for what it is. Like he was broke. He was reaching at thin air again. Thought the ball was coming there. It wasn't coming there this time. And when he reached down there, he grabbed his knee instead of the ball. He was broke again. He was shook. He was. You see him. He was. That wasn't like the first time he reached in that sequence.
hmm
You know what I mean?
I think you know the difference between the ball and the knee.
I think you know the difference
Yeah.
between the ball and the knee too. But I also think if you're scooping, you're just scooping.
Okay. I don't know.
Also, again, to me, it didn't look like it was a grab and a yank.
No, no, it didn't look like that. Like it didn't
So
look like.
to where like he like was trying to break his knee or anything like that. I think it was literally was I was trying to grab the ball and
Then Dylan Brooks. You think that was intentional
he was
on Gary
sending them
Payton?
he was sending a message. I don't think he was trying to hurt
I
him or
meant to
anything.
hurt him. Yeah.
I don't think he was trying to hurt him, but he was definitely trying to send a message. I didn't think he made because to me he didn't look like he made a play on the ball.
Nah, it didn't. It looked like he hit my man upside the
Yeah,
head.
yeah, sending a message. He's frustrated. He didn't play well in Minnesota. He didn't play well in the Minnesota series. He hadn't been playing well in this series.
hmm
He was frustrated. He's frustrated. You know, he made a mistake. He's young.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
I don't see him as a Bill Lambier.
Yeah, I don't think like even people keep going on Draymond. I don't think what Draymond. I guess because we grew up watching Bill Lambier
Rick Mahorn.
and Rick Mahorn and Xavier McDaniels and Daryl Dawkins. We came up. I mean, we got glimpses of those guys. So to us, those types of things is like that's nothing. You know.
Yeah, it really isn't
But
in the
to
grand scheme.
to these youngers, they're like, yo, you losing your mind. So I just think I just think it's a generational thing as far as the reaction is concerned. um but I don't think any of these guys are anything close to what we would consider dirty players.
Yeah, I don't think that, of course, he intended for my man to get hurt. You know what I mean? Um, like you said, I think he was trying to send a message and trying to bring it back to how it was. He might have watched some old Celtics Pistons series and was like, "Oh, okay, that's how we get down." But I mean, ultimately, if you had made a play for the ball, it would have looked a lot cleaner. Um, and I mean, Steve Kerr thought it was dirty, and it's like you played in the era where it was a lot more dirtier than this. You know what I mean? But I mean, in this day and age, you're not going for the ball. You sending a message that's considered dirty now in the NBA.
Yeah.
So
At this
yeah.
point in time, at this point, it's if you don't make it, if you're not making a basketball move and you hit a guy above the shoulders,
Hmm.
it's a flagrant one automatically. I don't even know why guys still get upset about it.
I don't think he
I
should
don't.
have. While he's in the air like that,
Yeah, you should have just let him go.
that's
Because
that's the kicker.
he didn't make a play on the ball because I don't know if he could. I
Right.
think the only play he could have made was on his body.
So there could have been a different message sent in a different play. Not that
Because again, frustration is frustration.
that early though in the game.
No, but it's not about that early in the game. You don't know what was said to him in the locker room.
That's a fact.
You don't know what anybody has been saying to that man about his play
Hmm.
coming into that moment. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know I don't know what his mental state was going into the game, but I do know that he has not played up to his standard. You know, not saying that that's the reason why they were losing the series or anything like that, but his play has not been up to his standard. And I just think the frustrations of that just kind of played out.
Yo, you know the highlight of my night the other night, yo, when I seen Kyle Anderson dunk on like I forgot who it was. It was like two of them, yo, because like he plays at his pace. I'll say that,
I don't think I've seen Kyle Anderson dunk since UCLA.
bruh. He dunked on a couple people. It shocked me because I think he did he do a hezzy or was it a pump fake? I think it was a pump fake, and then he went through the lane. I was like, nah, no, he not. And he went up and then came down. I said, yo, wow, that was shocking because I don't get that from him at all, at all. He's one of those guys that like I commend him because at the pace that I see him play, it's like it don't make sense.
He got old
But
man game.
he, whew, he picks he yeah. shout out to Kyle Anderson, man.
With or
Oh,
without Ja, I thought this series was over in five.
jeez, we don't give him six.
Nope.
That's so dirty.
It's a difference. I believe Golden State is a championship team, and I believe championship teams do take care of business when they're supposed to. And Golden State, their offensive ability is just ridiculous. And if they're gonna make shots, you can't score with them. No, I don't think there's a team in the NBA that can score with.
You said score with them.
Yeah, I don't think there's a team in the NBA that can score with them when they're made. If everybody is on, which with those three shooters, more times than not, it's probably gonna happen. Let's just be real.
So we
Like
just
you,
we just gonna hand him the title.
no, I'm not saying that because we also talking about guys with brittle history. So, but I also think matchups matter. because they don't have an answer for the two big guys coming from the East.
That's that. Yo, that's gonna be interesting.
So I
If
don't think Golden State has. I don't think Golden State has an issue out west, even with Phoenix.
it's just in the East,
I don't. Yeah,
one of
they
them
don't
cities.
have. They're gonna be in some trouble. Like I want to see the def. I want to see that def lineup against Joel Embiid. I want to see Draymond at the
Looney,
five.
Looney,
Mm-mm. I want to see Draymond at the five.
Looney.
Mm-mm. That's not the def
No,
lineup. That's not
that's
the def lineup. I
okay.
want to see the def lineup versus Joel Embiid.
And then
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
and who at the four?
What you mean? Who's at the four
I'm at for Philly.
for Philly? Probably Tobias.
Okay. Yeah, wait a minute. Maxi the two, right?
Mm-hmm. Danny
Who's the
Green at
three?
three.
Oh, okay.
Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle. Who you want to
Yeah,
throw in there?
yeah.
I want to see that. I'm interested to see that. Now, Brooke Lopez to me, he can't play against the Warriors.
Cause okay. Uh,
I,
I don't know, bro.
I,
Cause that's
I
that's
do.
that's big down there.
I do, but you
Like
don't give.
interior
They don't
forward.
utilize. It's there's no purpose of having him on the floor if you're not going to utilize him down low. Like, yes, he's a big guy, but one Brooke Lopez has never been who I don't. He don't
Post
scare. He
score.
scare you low post scoring. If beat me, beat me, beat me, beat me, please beat me with Brooke Lopez posting up. So I'm not. He's not a threat offensively.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't
Who?
say that. Brooke
Brooke
Lopez,
Lopez?
they could drain the
Dude,
three. Got a little mid range
again,
game. Former All
dude,
Star. Oh,
dude, they were
he's not like
bragging
a
the other
threat.
night.
Threat.
They were
But I'm
bragging
not.
the
I'm gonna
other
put a
day.
hand
They
up.
were bragging yesterday because my man was in like double figures for the first time in like 7 games. Again,
I'm
bro,
gonna put a hand up.
he's not a threat.
I'm gonna put a
What?
hand
Yes, he can shoot. Yes, he can shoot. He can shoot. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried about him.
up. Mm-mm.
I'm
But I'm
not
gonna at least
worried
put a
about
hand
him. Yeah, I'm gonna put a hand up. Yeah, I'm a contest. He can shoot, but I'm not worried about him. And then who was he going to guard at the other end?
Kevin Looney.
Kevin Looney doesn't play. He's not. Kevin Looney's gonna play just because Kevin Looney's only gonna play because Joel Embiid's playing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play Kevin Looney against the Bucks because I don't want Brooke Lopez in the game. I don't want him in the game. Keep him off the floor. I want Giannis. I want Giannis to be the only rim protector in there, so I can try to get him in foul trouble.
What's what's the young boy? Jonathan Kaminga?
Mm-hmm.
That's not gonna work.
Mm-mm.
Where's
He can
James?
guard.
Where's James?
Wiseman, he been hurt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He been
yeah,
hurt. He been hurt all year. And that's another ingredient that we
yeah.
haven't even seen
Right, right,
sprinkled into this new mix
right.
because we haven't seen him with Jordan Poole.
Nah. Mm.
Mm. Like I said, they're building a juggernaut up there. They're building a juggernaut up there. All
Gotta
right, so
keep
let's move
everybody
on.
happy though.
Let's
Gotta
move
keep
on. They're not. They will go into the luxury tax to
they
get
better.
rings.
They better.
They will go into the luxury tax to get
Cause
rings.
they about to run it back again.
But for right now, the big three is locked in though, right?
Yeah, yeah, for the
Clay,
most
the
part.
Clay Steph, and then the other ones is man, most of them on rookie deals. So
Not Kevin Looney.
man, he can go. We can find another. We can find another. Kevon Looney.
He's invaluable. He's been on the championship teams.
Yeah, he
Kevin
has.
Looney.
So was
Shout
Eagle
out to
Dollar.
Kevin Looney.
So was Eagle Dollar, but they let him go too, right? He
Yeah,
even
they
won the
did.
Finals MVP. They let him walk,
And he right back there.
and he right back there because he know where it's at. He
Yeah,
know
he
where
do.
it's at.
He do.
He know where he went and got paid, and then
It's
came
time to
back.
come back and get another ring
come,
before I'm out.
come back and get some more jewelry before I retire. All right, let's move on. Um, how surprised were you to hear about DeAndre Hopkins
Extremely.
and the PED?
Extremely. That's not D Hop. They
Now I hold on.
it's
I'm
something
gonna
that they
cut you
just put
off.
on the ban list. It's something that they
Um,
just put on there.
have you heard him respond? I haven't even heard. Has he responded or like said
He,
like what's going on?
it was one statement. I gotta. It was it was very generic.
Like he
Like
wasn't. It wasn't. It was just apology. It wasn't like an explanation.
it was like a. I don't know how this happened.
Yeah.
Let me go
Okay.
on.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. So the schedule. When is the schedule release?
Man, you got me on that, man.
Hold on. When is the NFL schedule release?
Yeah, he said in my 10-year NFL career, I've never tested positive for using performance enhancing drugs. To learn that my November test came back with trace elements of a banned substance, I was confused and shocked.
Okay. All right. So Thursday is when they release the schedule.
This
So
Thursday.
yeah, we don't know exactly who they'll be playing within those 6 games to make a determination exactly of what their record will be. But
He did
how
apologize.
much?
I'm sorry to cut you off. He did
Oh, I
apologize.
know. I know he's going to apologize. That goes without saying. But I just wanted to know what the explanation was. Like, man, look, man, y'all got me. My bad. Or was it?
Nah, he
I
said,
didn't know what I was putting in my body, and I slipped. Somebody slipped me a Mickey, and all of that kind of crazy stuff.
nah, he was like, yo, I take a holistic approach to what I put in my body. So I'm working with my team to investigate how this could happen.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody slipped him something.
That man took some black seed oil and it's banned.
Some,
No.
somebody, somebody slipped him. Somebody slipped him something. But how much of an impact is that going to have? 6 games.
um, I mean, that's that first quarter of the season going into the second quarter. Um, in that NFC West, that's huge. You got the defending champion Rams. You got my 49ers, and you got the Seahawks. Granted, we said the Seahawks might be whatever, but who knows? Anything can happen on any given Sunday.
You got that right.
So, I mean, especially with them not uh, giving no money to Colin Murray, what is it going to look like without your number one? Not just your number one, but arguably the number one in the league.
Yeah,
So
that's very
for
true
six
as well.
six games, you can go 2-4, and he come back and you just can't get it together. But they better hope to at least go 3-3 in that stretch.
I'm torn. I truly am.
What you torn about, bro?
Hollywood is supposed to be that guy, right?
He's good. He's very good.
Right? He's supposed to be that guy. What's supposed to have been holding Hollywood back is the Ravens offense.
Okay.
What's supposed to have been holding Hollywood back is not having a good quarterback,
Mm.
right? And now he's going to have a 6 game window where he's going to be the number one receiver in a better offense with a better quarterback, right?
Allegedly.
No, no, no. That's the consensus, bro. That's the consensus. That's the consensus that Lamar's not a good quarterback. That's what I always hear. That's what I always hear, even from Ravens fans. That's what I always hear. So Hollywood is supposed to be all of that. Everything's holding him back. This is an opportunity for me. That's just how I'm looking at it for Hollywood to solidify who he can be in the league. If what was holding him back was the Ravens offense and the quarterback. Because that's what I've been hearing. I don't agree with it, but that's what I've been hearing.
Mm.
So he's gonna have a 6-game window where he's gonna be the number one receiver with what everybody says is a better quarterback.
Is he
And
going to have number one targets?
why would he should be the number one, right?
I mean, for all that, Zach Ertz could get number one targets. I, him coming over and free agent, like you have to get comfortable with your quarterback. And if you've already had guys that's in the system, he's going to rely on them a lot more versus someone who just came in. Unless, like you said, you really that
You,
guy. Then
I
there's
I feel
no
what you're
denying.
saying. I
It's
feel what
not
you
like
I feel
Odell.
what you're saying. I feel what you're
Like
saying I
like
feel what you're saying with
Odell
the chemistry.
when Odell came with Cooper Cup, right? Like Odell still proved that he's a number one receiver. Like he had like 8 for 103 before he got hurt in the Super Bowl. So you got to prove that you're that guy, regardless of where you at. Otherwise, Matthew Stafford kept throwing the ball Cooper Cup. You know what I mean? Because that's who he's comfortable with. Not knocking Odell earned his keep, in my opinion, because we all knew how good Cooper Cup is. And I mean, if the guy is familiar with him, he's always going to go to him. So if you got Zach Ertz coming back, is it AJ Green coming back? Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I forgot the other wide receiver off the top of my head that they have, but it's returning guys that like I know where they're going to be at versus him to where like he might get open, but like if he done drop two passes, I'm gonna go to my man right here. You know what I mean?
Well, hold on. But you talk about if he then dropped 2 passes. See, this is
I'm
see,
just
that's what I'm
saying.
saying. But that's true.
You have a
That's the Hollywood from Baltimore. We talking about the Hollywood and the better offense with the better quarterback. He shouldn't be dropping the passes,
it's a
right?
tightrope. It's a tightrope that you're going now to where like you knew if you're going for the long ball in Baltimore who's getting the ball. You know what I mean? Like, but now you have to deal with guys who's been in this system, who your quarterback is comfortable with, and if you slip up, why am I going to go back to you again? Like you really, you know what I mean? Like in the clutch time. Oh no,
Again, I feel what you're saying. I'm just saying that this is an opportunity for Hollywood. This is an opportunity for Hollywood. He wanted out. Reports are that he wanted out because of the offense. He didn't like the offense. He didn't. He like pretty much every Raven fan that I know. We don't like the offense. So now he's gonna go into a more pass happy offense,
hmm
more spread it out, throw it all around the field offense. I think he should flourish, especially given that the number one guy is going to be out for the first 6 games.
It's his
So
time to shine.
this is your opportunity to show everybody who you truly are, Hollywood. That's all I'm saying.
Do your
But
thing, Hollywood.
the D Hop suspension for me, I was shocked. I didn't see that coming at
No,
all. I
not at
was like,
all.
whoa, really?
That's
Him?
one I would
It's
never.
like him of all people. And I don't think I don't again because I expect that offense to be able to function with the rest of the weapons that they have. I don't think they miss a beat,
That's hard to say.
especially especially that early in the season
Without D Hop,
without D Hop, especially that early in the season. Now I gotta see this. I gotta see the schedule to make a final determination.
mhm.
But I just feel like that quarterback with those offensive weapons around them, I just feel like they have enough with Zach Ertz, with Hollywood, with uh Rondell Moore, with James Conner. I just feel like they have enough that
Yeah, it's a
they can be able to maybe not make up for what D Hop brings, but they have enough weapons that they can stay afloat.
but it's Kyler Murray. Is I mean, Cardinals see something to where they ain't give that man his money yet.
But they see the same thing I see.
What you see?
He want to play baseball.
Okay.
Told you that he don't want to keep. Yo, why would you want to keep getting hit for a living when you can go hit for a living? He don't. I'm telling you, 3 years he's gonna be playing baseball, man. He no man. He doesn't. He's not signing up to get beat up like that, man. He got beat up. Playoffs, he got beat up bad. Like, yeah, he's not signing up for that. He's gonna be playing baseball, and I think that's what. And I think they don't think he's fully committed to playing football. I guarantee that'll be this discussion at some point in time
Yeah,
coming
especially if
up.
you don't pay my man his money. I
So,
had that as a bargaining chip, leverage.
and
Oh
I wish my man Don was here for this next conversation because you know he a Nova fan, even though he don't want to admit it. Um, he a Nova fan too. But I was shocked when Jay Wright retired.
me too.
Like, I was like, whoa, how about T Bart? What? Hold on. Why? Why? What happened? I thought something happened.
Yeah,
I thought something happened because I hadn't heard any
rumblings of what?
rumblings, rumors, anything that came completely out of left field that he was retiring. But you being a North Carolina fan, what's your most memorable Jay Wright moment?
Of course, that jumper at the buzzer. That's the one that sticks out
Yeah,
the most.
I'm with you.
Goodness gracious, man, that one was a killer, bro. What was my man name? I don't even know.
I don't remember my man name.
Number, I think it was number two.
I don't even remember what
Had a
number.
Falcons game,
I just remember him hitting it, and I'm just looking at the TV like, so glad I didn't place no money on this game because
but
I
that's
would
I
have
guess
threw.
that's my least favorite moment. Um, but I mean, seeing the type of players that he had come through there, that stuck around and was able to play 2, 3, even up to 4 years, and be very productive professionals. That to me is huge coming from a school like Villanova, to where it does have, yeah, the Big East reputation in the history of Villanova, but at the same time you got the Dukes of the world, you got the North Carolinas, you got the Michigan States with Tom Izzo and whatnot. And this one and done era, it's very hard to keep a consistent program on the floor and then be able to produce professionals at a level to where they 4 year seniors, 5th year seniors, and they coming in the league and making impacts. I love what Bridges is doing in Phoenix. Um, Kyle Lowry, um, Brunson, um, DiVincenzo, And as my man Floyd would say, the list goes on and on and on. But I mean, he leaves some big shoes to fill out there in Villanova. So it definitely was a shock. Um, I wonder if he's actually like done coaching or somebody called him up and said, "We got a deal of a lifetime." And I mean, if it's Rob Pelinka, I would drop that. I mean, who wouldn't want to coach the LA Lakers? Not
I
in the
would.
position. I'm just saying the
I
historic,
wouldn't right now. I wouldn't right now.
historicity of the Lakers. Not
I'm
just
just messing.
saying
I'd coach the Lakers right now. I'd coach them right now. I'd coach them
like
right
with
now.
all of
But
that history and glamour and all of that comes with that too.
absolutely, I'm with you. The thing that you just brought up was replacing him. Where do you go to replace him?
You have to start off on the staff. Um, I mean, when you've had a coach that long, like you want to kind of try to keep the boat the same before you take that like okay this isn't going to work. Let's go try to get a big name or somebody outside and change the whole dynamic of the program. I mean, you got recruits coming in, possibly. They may is like, I'm not coming. But you
Yeah.
already have a team that's familiar with the coaching staff. You might as well just pick one of the tenured and say, listen, can you take care of this program, keep the same assistants, and run the same system? You may not be Jay Wright, but at least we could have something on the floor that all of these players are understanding of, and not just bring them with a whole new offense to keep us competitive, at least for the next couple of years.
I get what you're saying. I truly do. I truly do. But for me, I feel like you got to start from scratch
Why?
because
You have a historic
of
program,
what you just said.
decent program, decent
Because
guys.
if you bring in that guy that was on the bench beside him,
Hmm.
they're going to expect results of him. And I think that's going to be asking
Too
too
much.
much of anybody.
Well, then who you get to replace Jay Wright, bro? Like, really?
Well, that's why you go out and you find a guy. I feel like you find a fresh new face. I don't even think you find a coach that's um
On the radar, per
not
se.
necessarily on the radar, bro. I don't a recycled coach that's had chances like a Shaka Smart. Don't bring in a Shaka Smart.
Um, the
You
man
feel
from
me?
St. Peter's.
But he just went
What's his
home.
name? Where?
He just
Who?
went home. He just went to his alma mater.
Oh,
Um,
Seton Hall. Seton Hall.
yeah, he just went. He
Okay.
just got to
Okay.
see a Hall job. But
Okay.
yeah,
So never mind.
somebody like that, a fresh new face. That can rebuild a program in a new image. Because if you just bring somebody in that's that's a Jay Wright disciple,
Hmm.
that you're gonna be people are gonna be expecting Jay Wright results immediate return, just because of what you just said, where you're going the same thing, we're doing the same thing, but it's going to be a different voice
Yeah.
relaying those messages. Even though it's the same lingo, it's going to be a different voice relaying those messages. And sometimes that different voice relaying the same message doesn't always work out.
No, that's true. It worked out in
And I
North
just
Carolina's favor.
did it.
We got to the finals.
Yeah, that was a run, but it was a struggle all year.
Yeah, it was. It
It
was.
was a struggle all year, but the difference between that is, to me, was it needed to be that was needed to happen because they needed a younger person anyway. Roy he didn't understand the lingo. He didn't understand the language. He didn't. He just didn't. And that was the difference between some of his good teams and some of his bad teams.
Hmm.
Is they just some of them got it and some of them didn't.
Right, right.
The talent, it wasn't like North Carolina wasn't getting good recruits. It just looked like sometimes that when his teams got it, they were one of the best teams in the country. And when they didn't get it, they were one of the worst teams. They were in the middle of the pack in the
Yeah,
ACC.
yeah.
And that would be, to me, that was always the difference. And then you bring in Hubert. He's a little younger. He understands the kids probably a little bit better. He can talk to them and speak to them
Hmm.
and relay the messages to them in a way that they can understand. And then you get the results that you get. So to me, that was kind of different. And also, North Carolina has their tradition is different than Nova's.
Excellence. No, I'm
Not
joking.
only not only not only excellence, but just like who's a Nova alum that's even in the coaching ranks.
Is Antoine Jameson?
I said Nova.
You said Nova.
Yeah, who's a Villanova alum that's in
Oh,
the coaching ranks?
I don't.
I don't know of any.
I don't.
I don't know of any. Whereas North Carolina, every time you turn around, they got somebody trying to join the coaching ranks, just like Duke. You know what I mean? They're breeding them out.
Yeah.
So I just feel like Nova can. I just feel like Nova's. I think Nova just need. I think Nova has a better chance of restarting than just trying to throw a person right from that coaching staff.
Where did you go, Jay? Right.
You
ESPN
know.
got you.
Then
It was ESPN,
I
right?
heard that he was interested in the NBA and going to the NBA. Now
Hmm.
that I did hear. I did hear that. Um,
What job would make you drop that though? Just
I don't
maybe
know. I don't know. If who knows? Maybe if Doc is not in
Philly.
Philly next year,
Ooh.
I'm just saying. I'm just
That'd
saying.
that'd that'd be that'd
I'm
be
just
huge.
saying.
That'd be a huge headline.
I'm just saying. Anything's possible.
Mm.
All right. Next topic. It's touchy. It's a little touchy. Um.
Oh.
The Major League Baseball came down pretty hard on Trevor Bauer. I think it was 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
2 seasons.
$60 million.
Suspended. And
No
let's
money.
just put it out there. Deshaun Watson's fate has not yet been his suspension anyway has not yet been handed out.
Mm-hmm.
But like Trevor Bauer, there seems to be no criminal charges gonna be placed against him. Right? It's just allegations. Now, unlike Trevor Bauer, Deshaun Watson has multiple allegations against him.
Multiple.
Multiple allegations. Trevor Bauer only had the one. I think Deshaun Watson is at least in the double digits.
Nah, Trevor Bauer got three.
What?
He had three accusers.
He had three accusers, right? Okay,
Mhm.
three accusers. I apologize. It still is in the double digits. All right, but what is? How does the NFL handle it after Major League Baseball did what they did? Especially with all of the things going on right now, the temperature around women's rights and everything like that.
I don't
How
think.
how does the NFL handle this?
I don't think that the Browns organization would have gave Deshaun Watson all of that guaranteed money if they didn't know without a shadow of a doubt that at worst 10 games.
We're talking about the Browns here.
I know we're talking about the Browns.
And we're
But
also
we're also
talking
talking
about.
about the NFL that is tight-lipped and got sources all over the place. I don't think that I don't care if you're talking about the Detroit Lions, bro. I don't think
I get
if
it.
you take that huge of a chance and give all of that guaranteed money, guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Yep.
I
But they,
just
all of that was before Trevor Bauer got that
it is
two that
it
two
is
season those 2 seasons.
that is a fact. That is a fact.
All of that
I
came
don't
before.
I don't think
So
I don't
don't
think the
forget.
NFL is gonna look at that as
Don't
a
forget.
measuring factor, a measuring stick.
I don't think I'm not gonna say that they are or they aren't. But what I will say is this: they went from what was it? I think it was like 2 games at first with Ray Rice,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then after there was
that's a
some
fact.
public outcry,
That was a fact. That's a fact.
they flipped it.
That's a fact.
So to me, I believe because of the temperature right now around women's rights,
Hmm.
you don't want to look bad right now. I don't think you want to look bad. I don't think you want to look bad right now.
No.
And I think you look bad. I think you look bad after Major League Baseball said our guy with the 3 allegations is going to get 2 years,
Yeah.
and your guy with the thing was what last time I checked 13, 14, something crazy number, stupid number like that. You gonna get less. You gonna get less. You gonna get less games than allegations.
In my
He's
head,
got to get.
sometimes
He
I
got to
think
at least get one. He got to at least get a game for each allegation. Then.
the owner tried to set him up, but yo, that's just that's that's a thought in
I
my
don't
head.
think. I don't think the owner tried to set
The
him up.
owner trying to set him up
I
because
don't
she
think the
said he
owner
ain't
tried to
want to
set
play
him
Heat
up.
no more.
I don't think the owner tried to set him up, man. I think the owner was blackmailing him, and he was like, "Deshaun, you sticking to you went out, do you? You sure you want to go down this road, son? Are you sure you want to get out? You sure you want out? Yeah, all right, you want out. Go ahead, man. Tell
But
them
in
they can
all
tell them
honesty,
they can sue him. Tell them they can sue him.
I do. It's a part of me that thinks that the owner got something to do with all of this.
Man,
But
he's probably getting he was probably getting the massage with the show.
I mean, as the NFL does, they do their own, I guess, investigation. Which to me, I don't be understanding that. Like, why don't y'all just go to the cops and ask them what y'all got? Private investigators to find out different stuff than the.
See, because the thing of it is this. Of course, everybody knows just because the grand jury doesn't see that there's enough evidence to warrant a trial,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean that you're not guilty. That doesn't mean there's not enough evidence against you. That's all. That's
But
all that means.
why does the NFL feel like they can supersede with the legal system?
It's not see here, and this is where it gets weird for a lot of people
Hmm.
because they still have an image to uphold.
I
So
get all of that.
because the court said there's not enough evidence that you sexually assaulted multiple women,
Hmm.
that doesn't mean that you didn't do it. And
No,
for
yeah.
years, for years, we've swept these things under the rug, turned a blind eye to it.
Hmm.
And again, I cannot stress how much that the issue around right now of abortion and women's rights is
No.
going to play a factor in the Deshaun Watson suspension. It's going to play a factor in the Deshaun Watson suspension.
I think that has a bigger factor than Trevor Bauer.
I don't. I think they have equal because the temperature around women's rights is what Trevor Bauer got. Is what Trevor Bauer got a 2-year suspension.
Mm.
And they were like, here NFL, your turn. Well, let's see how you do. One up us. Because any with all of those
But
allegations,
then they have a
and
hit.
then the MLB, think about it. MLB is supposed to be the league that's still behind the times. They still got the unwritten rules, to get off my lawn rules and all of that stuff. They're the ones supposed to be behind the times. And then they take the progressive stance of saying 2 years for the allegations.
But don't you have a right as a league to be consistent when it comes to this type of punishment? When you've had situations such as Ben Roethlisberger, and where did that go?
But bro,
So that's
but
hypocrisy.
but bro, women's rights wasn't an issue then.
And that and
Again,
that and
that
that
was that was part of the times when we were sweeping it under the rug. Now that
excuse
again,
me.
that's gonna
We're
play
talking
a
about
role.
rapes.
That's gonna play a role and a factor into this decision. Everything that you're saying is gonna play a role and a factor into this decision. Because again, you can't look like you just turning a blind eye, you sweeping under the rug. You're gonna give him a handful of games for all of those
Not a
allegations.
handful, two handfuls.
Again, that's still less games than
No.
accusers.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
I think that's the baseline that we need to be starting at.
Of how many accusers?
He needs to miss at least as many games as accusers. That's the baseline.
That's the starting point.
That's the starting point. Straight up. That is the starting point. The number of accusers, Deshaun, is how many games you're gonna miss.
That's a lot.
So hey,
Oh man.
the NFL, the NFL has to. They're gonna have to take a strong stance.
Why you get all the massages, Deshaun? Why you couldn't just stick with one massage person? You would avoid all of this.
Hey,
Just one, maybe two, possibly three, but you ain't gotta have different ones. And I mean, shoot, you make enough money, won't you bring one with you? Like the same one that, man. I mean, all of that is satire. I'm just
here's
come
the
on,
thing.
man.
Here's the thing that's gonna be crazy about the situation for me anyway. Baker Mayfield could very well
Still
be
have
the
his job.
starter, be the starter week 1 for the Browns.
Yeah, that's a fact. After all
Because
this,
just as much as everybody is saying there's a the Browns didn't give him all that guaranteed money.
hmm
That's also a reason why the Browns haven't moved Baker Mayfield yet.
yeah, yeah, we gotta have a backup plan. And nobody
Because
wants Baker
because
Mayfield,
because
so
Jacoby Brissett ain't the answer.
he's a he's a good
He's
twink.
good.
He's a
He's a,
good
he
twink.
can he's a good. He can hold down the fort for a few games.
Mm-hmm.
But if
A long
we're
stretch.
talking about almost maybe a season or
Yeah,
more for Deshaun.
yeah.
Nah, Baker, you can stay. You can stick around. Because let's be honest, Baker needs that as well. He needs a place where he can. Baker doesn't need to go to a place where he's gonna be a backup or something like that. He needs to go to a place with some stability where he can showcase his full ability.
But this is his time to showcase his full ability. This is in a sense his This has to
Yeah,
be one of his highlight tapes.
yeah. If
Knowing
Deshaun's
that
not,
they don't
if
want me,
Deshaun, yeah, if Deshaun doesn't get suspended, if Deshaun gets suspended, but if Deshaun doesn't get suspended, then he'll be holding the clipboard
but
if he
then
stay in
but
Cleveland.
if the Browns suspend him, I mean, not the Browns, if the NFL suspends him for a year, right?
Yeah,
That means
then
that
Baker better
Baker
ball
has
out.
to, yeah,
Baker
yeah,
better
because
ball out. He
that's
better
what I'm
ball.
saying.
It's an audition tape.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like this, whatever time Deshaun Watson gets is Baker Mayfield's audition tape to be a starter somewhere, and
It's also an opportunity for him to increase his trade value for
yeah,
the Browns if the Browns want to move. Because people are like just cutting, and the Browns are like, no, he's a
for what?
former number one overall pick. He's got
They did go to
value.
the playoffs, though.
He's got trade value. Why am I gonna cut him? He still has trade value. And
Right.
I don't know. I still don't really know the
What's
outcome
gonna
with
happen?
Deshaun
Exactly.
Watson. I kind of understand why why they're setting on Baker. I understand people are saying that there's not probably a market for Baker at the same time. Understandable. But the Browns are probably like, let's make sure that we got all our ducks in a row with Deshaun. We at least got our quarterback in the future. But if Baker needs to be our quarterback for right now, we'll stick with him for right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I do
Speaking of
know
Browns quarterbacks, one thing I found out that was he a Browns quarterback? No, that's Bernie Kosar. Okay, never mind. That was another. But Vinny Testaverde was colorblind,
really.
and said that's
Interesting.
why. That's what
That's why he was throwing all them picks.
say he just out there slinging that thing, man.
Hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why now they have a colorblind test at the NFL Combine.
Well, at the same time, man, you need to be honest with yourself. Because I know I could be out here putting my career on the line because I'm too prideful to say I'm colorblind. Are you serious?
But you've been doing your thing all these years through
Because
college.
when you throw the touchdowns, you ain't colorblind.
Yeah.
Nah, that ain't
Yeah,
the
I
reason
mean,
why
you
you're
just gotta
walking
look
around
for the
with
darker
picks.
shades, I guess. Because
I
in the
don't even
league
know
with
what
the
I've heard so many different things about colorblindness. I can't even speak on it.
yeah, yeah,
So I really don't know what it is because I don't know if it's different for different people or what it entails. I'm not even going to get into that. But I will say this: he wasn't when he was throwing them touchdowns.
he saw them green Jets jerseys. And am I talking about the right one? Vinny Testaverde did play for the Jets at one point, didn't he? He did.
Testaverde played for a lot of teams, bro,
Yeah, he did. The
because he was always
Buccaneers.
throwing picks.
Yeah, but he
So
would throw
maybe he really
touchdowns
was
too.
colorblind. Maybe he
He
really
did.
was colorblind.
He did throw touchdowns too.
Yeah, Big Testaverde had a big arm. He had a big arm. So anything else? We're gonna leave boxing for next week because Don really wanted to touch on Canelo. So I'm gonna leave. So I'm gonna leave Canelo for next week. Um, hold on. Is the game over?
Is
I
it?
didn't even. I haven't even checked in a while.
It says
Yes,
Sixers are up 101-94.
it's not looking good for Miami.
I mean, they only
Now,
down 7.
yeah, but it
Let's
seems
see
like
how
they've been
good.
crawling. They can't get over the hump. It seems like they've been crawling up all game.
Yeah.
Seems like they've just been crawling, trying to just keep pace all game. So, all right, bro. Final thoughts.
I thought we had one more subject. Was it one more, or was I tripping?
Nah, that was it. Playoffs. D Hop,
Oh, okay.
Trevor
Oh,
Bauer.
because we can't talk. Okay,
Because
so you said
Don
we
wants to
can't
talk about boxing next week.
we talk. Oh,
Unless
just
you,
boxing. I thought it was just Canelo.
you want well, Canelo? Oh, you got some other stuff you want to talk about with boxing besides
Yeah,
Canelo?
man. What you mean? Last time
Go
we
ahead.
talked.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So Bud, Terrence Crawford
Hmm.
versus Errol Spence. You say you don't think it's going to happen.
No, 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 no. Dom said it doesn't gonna. He don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna
Okay.
happen before. I think it's going. I just wanted to happen before 2024.
And it's 2022. I believe
Yep.
it's going to happen.
That you got all the Earl just proved
I think that's Errol's next
that he's
fight.
ready. Earl just proved that he's over the accident. He's
Hmm.
ready to go right now. He's back. So that means we got all the rest of this year and
Yeah.
we got all of 2023.
And he don't do
Because if it
tune-up
don't
fights.
happen, if it does not happen by the end of 2023, I don't want to see it.
I believe it's
Because we're getting into that Pacquiao Mayweather range, and that was a boring fight.
that
That fight was
okay.
trash.
So I think that one in itself. Um, all right. So in my head, I'd be thinking Pacquiao was cheating for a little bit of time, and then when it came down to some testing, he didn't want to test the way that Mayweather wanted him to test, and that's why the fight didn't happen in 2010. Um, that's my personal opinion. There's some evidence to state that, but that's neither here nor there. So I don't think that we have two different fighters when it comes to Spence and Crawford. They both have wanted to fight each other, um, and it ain't no USDA, VADA, whatever type of testing that's in the way when it comes to this one. We all know, or and we allegedly that Bob Arum was the reason why these two didn't fight earlier, for the simple fact that Bob Arum didn't feel like it was enough money um, into it for one, and for two, that means you got to deal with Al Heyman, which we all know Bob Arum and Al Heyman don't see eye to eye on anything. So, I mean, there was a lot that went into that, and then like now you can get to the point to where Terrence Crawford is a free agent; he can do what he wants. I mean, it's in the same boat to where Tank Davis is going to be at. I mean, once he has this fight with Rolly Romero, he's off the Javante Tank Davis promotions. And that means I fight who I want to fight. That means that we may see him versus Gary Russell or him versus Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, um, or he might want to move up to welterweight. Um, but I think that fight is going to happen more sooner than later. Errol Spence said he don't do tune ups. So I mean, after this, that there ain't no other fight but this one. And uh, what's name is already Bud has already fought this year. Was it this year? Earlier this year, right? Or he beat Sean
Mhm.
Porter,
I don't remember
or
when
was
it
it last
was.
year? Either
That was
way,
his last. That was his last fight.
that was his last fight. Looked impressive. There's really no roadblocks. Like honestly, like that. If the only roadblock was that if someone is legit scared or legit not trying, like all the roadblocks that we had, even with Mayweather and Pacquiao, like that was a roadblock as far as Bob Arum as well, and that's fresh off of Floyd leaving him, not to you know what I mean. That's 10. I mean that's like what 10 years ago, not fresh, but you know what I mean. Like it's still that sentiment still there, but there's nothing stopping this fight. So I really see this happening by the end of this year, man.
I, I agree with you. I don't think there's nothing in the way at this point. There's nothing in the way at this point other than you just don't want some smoke.
Right.
That's it. The money's gonna be there because that I don't know any other cards that it's gonna be that big.
That's the
I think
biggest
that's the
fight
biggest
right
fight in
now
boxing right now. I think that's the biggest
that
fight
you
in
can
boxing.
make.
So I think the money will be there. So I don't think there's any reason for them to not to make it happen. I'm excited for it to happen.
I'll pay for that one.
I'll pay for that fight. I'll
That's
buy that
that's
fight.
one that that's one that I said if they fight, I'll pay for it.
I'll buy it.
Even if it's Even if it's 100, I pay for
I,
that one.
I
I want to
might.
see that one live.
I want to see it. I don't want to. I don't want nobody to tell me about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't
Nah,
want
I
to
want
read
to see that
about it. I
live
don't
in
want to
person.
watch replays. I want to see it
I'm actually
as
trying to
it
see that
happens
live in
because
person for good.
everybody's gonna have their pick on who they think will win and different things like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know who. I don't know
That's a
who will win.
50-50 for real.
I don't. I really don't know. I don't think either one of them has a glaring weakness to where you say the other one just will exploit that and he'll win the fight.
Because people would say that Spence couldn't box, but then he outboxed the dog mess out of Mikey Garcia, who was one of the better boxers. Even though, granted, he was smaller, but no, he like outboxed him. Like he didn't actually use his power like he could have, like he did on Ugas. Like yo, he straight ran through him like a freight train, bro.
Yeah, Ugas was in the wrong place at the wrong
Yeah,
time
but he
because
can box. Man, that's going to be that might be one of those fights that it might be a trilogy type,
I think
and it will be worth it.
I think it's a fight that can save boxing
Hmm. Why do you think boxing needs saving though?
because there's enough because Jake Paul is making too much money for us to not think that boxing is is in the need of saving.
Yeah.
If Jake Paul was still just a YouTuber, I wouldn't think boxing needs saving. But the fact that a YouTuber
Hmm.
can draw those types of numbers in boxing events,
But
we're talking
it's a
about
different crowd though.
we're talking about butter we're talking about Butterbean. That's what he's the equivalent of. He's just getting in exhibition fights.
But see, he's Butterbean with technology. Like
I understand
imagine
that.
if Butterbean had Twitter or Instagram or YouTube. Like it brought a different audience.
not when not when you're seeing the best boxers fight the best boxers. You're not paying Jake Paul any mind.
Okay.
But because boxing is entertaining for the most part, everybody it shows itself to be corrupt majority of the time, right?
Hmm.
So why not watch something it's basically WWE boxing.
I was I was about to say we got people who watch WWE. I was a big fan of all the wrestling. So I I I, I still boxing has a niche that I don't think it's not as huge, don't get me wrong.
Because any no
But it's not as
diehard fans,
mainstream though.
diehard fans aren't going anywhere.
Right.
Sports do not exist
Oh,
without casuals.
James Harden out here snapping. He just yelled. I don't know what for. Um,
But they sports don't exist. Sports can't exist without casuals. They can't.
but what
You need your casual fans. You need something to draw them in and entertain them to keep them coming in every now and again. And
what
boxing
hurts
doesn't have that.
what hurts boxing is the fact that, and I think that PBC was doing it, but I don't know what all happened. And Top Rank is doing it now with ESPN, having boxing free, some matches,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
because you think back in the day where it had ABC Worldwide Sports,
Hmm.
you would catch a good boxing match. I remember watching David Tua fight somebody on CBS. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And granted, yeah, you got to go to HBO and Showtime to get the good fights, but it's like yo, the good fights are now on pay per view, and the
They're not always
ones
good.
that would be on TV would be on these paid promotions, right? Like you said, like yo, Tank is fighting Rolly Romero off the strength of Tank's name on pay per view. Why is that on pay per view, bro? Like I would want to see that on Showtime. I don't really want to pay $75. Like I like Tank. Don't get me wrong, but like I've never seen Rolly fight like that. And when I did see of him, like he's decent, but like for me to pay 75, it's got to be the other half to that as well. That's why I was like, yo, I'm not watching. I've seen Ugas not knocking him at all, but I was like, yo, Spencer's gonna wash him. I'm not paying $75 for that because like this is levels and tiers to this. And Ugas caught Pacquiao on the last night of him boxing. So like if Spence would have got that, it would have got worse. I think Pacquiao would have gotten knocked out, smooth out. You know what I mean? Like Ugas is a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. He's giving people problems and whatnot. But like, yo, I already knew what it was gonna be. So it's like, yo, these pay-per-view fights is now to the point to where like I'm not paying for the best of the best. Like I used to want to spend my money on Arturo Gotti versus Mayweather because Arturo Gotti was knocking people out, this, that, and the third. When I seen him on HBO, and you got Floyd, like there was a build up to that, and I paid my $45 for that. But now you got Rolly Romero that's fought 2 times on TV, and now you got him on pay per view, and want me to pay 75. You got Ugas to where it's like, yo, yeah, he just beat Pacquiao, but let's be honest, which Pacquiao did he beat?
The one on his last toe,
And
not
then
even his last leg,
and
last toe.
we can't even talk about last night's shenanigans. Ah, yeah, Dom, you got to show up on that one because it's been some questions. I told you, I I
That's
can't.
what questions? There ain't no questions. He ain't got
Why
no
that?
business.
Why that man ain't fight Charlo? Oh, it was levels. All right, it's a reason why he don't want to fight Charlo or David Benavidez, and that's what. All right, let's stop, man. Let's stop. Canelo's the face of boxing still.
Yeah, because he the biggest money draw.
I mean, he's still the undisputed at 168, so it ain't like he
Mm.
lost. He lost, but he didn't.
He didn't lose any. He didn't lose no hardware or anything.
Nah, Mexicans booed him though.
Yeah, he got wore out.
They booed him.
He
Okay,
got beat up.
let's stop. Let's stop
They
talking.
don't. They don't. Mexicans don't get beat up, son. They might lose. They don't get beat up.
That's two in
Um,
2 weeks
pretty,
from the
pretty one,
same from the same camp. All right.
pretty,
Okay. Okay.
pretty one sided as well.
This is let's stop
But go
talking about
ahead.
this.
Final thoughts. Final thoughts. Final thoughts.
Dom, I really wish he was here because this is fresh, especially since I was able to watch a little bit of it last night too. And I really went to sleep like, yo, Canelo about to lose. I went to sleep like knowing that after like round. Okay, my final thought is I really think that the courts should leave well enough alone when we are talking about women's rights. Um, it's all types of different situations. Me and my wife talked about it, and it's like there's so many different situations that can happen to force a woman to be in that position to abort, and it's not always that black and white situation to where you think, oh, they just want to get rid of a kid. And you really, 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 really need to think about this because we're not. I don't understand for the life of me. Like, if we're human and it's one male and one female, why is there attack on one over the other when like we both are equal in our own right? It's just in different. It's crazy. It's crazy that the government think that they feel like they can control women's rights when it comes to that aspect, and I don't agree. Um, to each his own. When it comes to that, no, I'm not. I'm a what is it? I've made some mistakes in my life. I wouldn't want anyone to abort their babies, but I understand that through health reasons, things could happen to where you may have to. So it's a touchy subject. But I feel like a woman should be in control of her situation and her body, and especially when it comes to life altering and life threatening situations. I believe that they should be the ones in control of that decision and not the government.
My piece on that, real quick, is I'm neither pro life or pro choice. I am pro. It is none of my business. Just that simple. All right. Um,
That's awesome. That is
just that simple.
that's
It's none of
that's
my.
how
It has no effect on me.
yeah,
Why
that's
do I? Why do I? To me, it's equivalent to homosexuality. It has
yeah,
no effect on me. Why do I care?
yeah.
All right.
I just don't like
Um.
the pushing in my face. That's all I
Yeah.
don't like.
Yeah. My final thought is a report that I had seen earlier this week. Um.
What you see?
And
Sixers
it's
won
one
by
of
what?
the. Yeah. I see. And it's one of the reasons why minorities are so upset about the coaching hiring within football.
Hmm.
Um, I seen a report that Urban Meyer was a candidate to be the Texas Longhorns' new next head coach. And I thought to myself, "Are you kidding me? You've got, you've got to be kidding me!
Wow.
You got to be kidding me! This is a guy that has just been leaving a
Everywhere he goes,
mess
except
everywhere.
for Utah.
Florida, Ohio State, Jacksonville.
Ever since he's left Utah.
Just left things in a
Wow.
mess.
Wow.
And Texas, you're in a mess already.
And you said come.
And you said, come here and clean up our mess. Now, granted, Urban Meyer did something at those two collegiate programs, and including Utah, so I'll say the three, he wins. I'll grant you that.
But at what cost?
That is the question. Because one of the things about college sports different from pro sports is one of the things that I stress. The biggest difference is you are supposed to be a leader of men,
Hmm.
and you are supposed to be teaching these young men how to become men. And
Hmm.
granting and given his track record, I don't think Urban Meyer is the right person to be teaching young men how to become men. So therefore, it's weird that his name would come up. But again, this goes back to what I said at the beginning. This is why minorities find it laughable about the coaching situations. It's laughable. Like you'd rather go that route with that much dirt on him because he's gonna win. He's a proven winner, than even give a minority a chance.
Shot. Right.
That speaks
Hmm.
volumes to me,
Yeah.
and it should speak volumes to you. But that's our show for the night. Well, this week. So until next week, same time, 9 p.m.
And we will
Facebook,
talk about
YouTube.
Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol and much more. Oh,
Matter of fact, that is gonna be the
Dominique,
first.
Dominique,
That's gonna be the
that is,
first topic we talk about next week.
bruh.
First topic we talk about next week.
If that was you on TV,
That was him on TV. That was him
that
on
was
TV.
definitely him
That
on
was
television.
definitely him on TV.
Pink trunks
But
and all.
until next time, speak on it.
Peace,
Peace.